All right, guys, so day 4 of homework is I want you to complete that sheet that I gave you that has day 4 on it, and I want you to go to your student journal and go to page 80, and we're going to do numbers 1 and 2. Let's see which one is first. All right, so here is the book, the information from your book. And these are all, well, these 2 problems are the big ideal problems, and the other ones I made up. All right, so it says in exercise 2, find the value of x that makes m parallel to n. Explain your reasoning. So if you look, this line right here is the transversal. And so the angles formed by this transversal is this angle, and there are others too, but these are the ones we're focusing on. So I can say that ax plus 55 should equal 95, and my reasoning is because these are corresponding angles. This is on the bottom of the top line, and this is on the bottom of the second line. So here I'm gonna draw my line and solve the equation the way I know how to solve it. The constant 55 is on the wrong side, so if I cross over my line, I have to change the sign. And here I get ax equals 0, and then we get 40, divide by 8, so x equals 5, and we're done with that one. So here is the next problem. I'm going to highlight the transversal so I can see what angles are formed here. And the angle I have is this angle right here and this angle right here. Well, these are the parallel lines, so this is outside of the parallel lines, and it's on opposite sides of the transversal. So these are what we call alternate exterior angles. And alternate exterior angles are angles that are equal to each other. So we get 2x equals 130, and I want to say my reasoning is alternate exterior angles. I'm going to draw my line and solve the equation the way we've been practicing how to solve them in class. And then I get negative 2x equals negative 70. And then we're going to divide this by negative 2. Divide this by negative 2, and x equals 35. And we are finished. Okay, with that one. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one. It says write a 2-column proof for the following. It gives me that AB, line segment AB intersects line segment CD. So here we go, these 2 lines intersect. And it wants me to prove that the measure of angle 4, that's this angle, is congruent to this angle right here. And these are vertical angles, and I want to prove it. So I'm going to draw my little columns. I'm going to write my proof. I'm going to say my statement on one side. And for every statement you make, you got to have a reason. All right, so the first thing. Okay, so my very first statement is always what I'm given. So line AB intersects, and I'm writing shorthand, CD. And that is because it's given. All right, that's my first statement. My second statement is going to be that I need to involve some kind of angle with 2 and 4. So I'm going to go this way. I'm going to say I want to say the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3 is going to be equal to 180. And I'm moving my line over just a little bit so I can have some room. Okay, give me a sec, babes. Okay, it's equal to 180. And I also know that the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 4 is also equal to 180. And that's because they are the linear pairs. So that's the definition of linear pairs. And we know linear pairs are supplementary. All right, so we're going to go to our third reason. Then if I know that, then I can say the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3 should equal the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 4. And why can I say that? Because they both equal 180. So that means this side is equal to this down here, since they both equal 180. And that's called the, we're just simply substitution. We're substituting. All right, so number 4 would be, if you look at the one before, they both have 3 in common, so we can scratch those out. So we can say the measure of angle 2 is equal to the measure of angle 4. And that's reasoning is just simply the subtraction property of equality. And then the last one would be, if that is the case, then we say reason 5, the measure of angle 2 is congruent to the measure of angle 4. And we have that by the definition of congruency. Definition of congruency. And we're finished. All right. So we just proved that vertical angles are congruent. All right, the next one says to prove that 4 is congruent to 5. So we're getting ready to prove that alternate interior angles are congruent. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to give our statement, what we want to say. Oopsie, sorry guys. Statement, and then we're going to give our reason for the statement. So number 1, the statement is always the given. So I'm going to write in shorthand, line AB is parallel to line CD, and EF, line segment EF, is a transversal. And I write in the shorthand. And my reason for saying that is because it's given. The second step is I want to find something where I can say 4 and 5, I can connect them together. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to say the measure of angle 1 is congruent to the measure of angle 4. 1 and 4 are congruent. And that is going to be because they are vertical angles. So we're going to say the vertical angle theorem is in play here. And a theorem is a statement that we know is true and have been proven. And we've proved that one already before. So we get 1 and 4. Now I can go and say 1, the measure of angle 1 is congruent to the measure of angle 5. And you notice I involve 1 in both 1 and 1 and 4. And that is called the corresponding angle theorem. And then the fourth one would be, since they both have 1 in common, then I can say these two angles are the same. So I can say the measure of angle 4 is congruent to the measure of angle 5, and that's going to be called the transitive property of congruency. That's the transitive property of congruency. Sorry, guys. There we go. And then we're finished. We proved that. We proved it. Okay. Let's go to this next one. Okay, so this one is telling us to prove that 4 and 8 are congruent. And these are corresponding angle. We already know that they are congruent, but we just need to figure it out. So here we're going to do statement, and then we're going to go to the reason. All right, so the first statement is always going to be what's given. Okay, so the first statement is always going to be what's given. So we're going to say line AB is parallel to line CD, and EF, line segment EF, is the transversal. So that is always our given. Well, you always write the given line first. Okay, now you want to start with your reasoning. I want to connect this 1 and 8, some kind of 4 and 8 together some type of way. So what I'm going to say is that 4 is congruent to 5. Okay, so yep, I'm going to say the measure of angle 4 is congruent to the measure of angle 5, and that's going to be my vertical, not vertical, but alternate interior angle reasoning. So AI theorem, alternate interior angle theorem. So I told 4 is the same as 5, and now I'm going to go and say my second reason. Okay, so now I can say that 4 and 5 are the same. So now my next reason, I can say the measure of 5 is going to be the same as the measure of 8. They're congruent, and that reason is my vertical angle theorem. So now that I connected 4 to 5 and 5 to 8, now I can say I have 5 in both of these, so 4 and 8 has to be the same by the. So my fourth reasoning. Okay, so now I can say the measure of angle 4 is congruent to the measure of angle 8, and that's by the transitive property. And you are finished. Okay, let me see if we have any more. Oh, that was the last one. Okay, guys, please make sure you go through these so you can be okay for the quiz on tomorrow, and talk to you later. Bye.